Today I have another exciting piece from the Greg Lamp collection coming up in our May 2024 Premier Firearms Auction, a absolutely beautiful and historic Colt Model 1878 double-action revolver. This revolver shipped in 1879, and the factory letter confirms the engraving, the pearl grips, and the configuration. And it's pretty cool because if you take a look at this gun, it is in really nice shape, and you can see the beautiful late 19th century Colt factory engraving, just beautiful scroll work with stippled backgrounds, and you've got like wavy line accents. If you take a look at the pearl grips, they're in really nice condition. You can see they've got that natural vibrance to them as you kind of turn them and let the light reflect off their surfaces. And this is actually one of only 9 revolvers in this configuration. So there's only 9 1878s with 5.5-inch barrels, nickel plating, factory engraving, and pearl grips. So a spectacular revolver in spectacular condition. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is also a historic revolver. If you take a look at the backstrap here, it's inscribed John H. Burns. John Burns was a highly influential figure in Deadwood in the Dakota Territory in the 1870s when this revolver shipped. He was an attorney at law, a judge, involved in local civic life. He was also a rancher, and he came there in 1876 during the gold rush. There are actually multiple stories published in the newspapers in the 1870s and 1880s about Burns packing Colt 6-shooters and using them when he was threatened by the very lawless local populace. One story from 1877 has him brandishing 2 Colt 6-shooters when he was threatened by a witness in a case, en route to the courthouse. Another article from the Chicago Tribune dated July 19, 1878, about a trip to the Black Hills notes, Mr. John H. Burns is a native of Kankakee and first practiced law in Chicago. Coming here with the rush, he was made the prosecuting attorney of the Black Hills, and with pluck and bravery worthy of a knight of history, sent 13 horse thieves, murderers, and road agents to jail in the first term. Although his office is often filled with angry thugs armed to the teeth who are going to clean him out, the sight of John's big self-cocking 6-shooter slightly disturbed them. That article couldn't have more clearly described a Colt Model 1878, a big, self-cocking 6-shooter revolver. Now, we know this one was shipped in 79, and that story comes from before then, but Burns' office actually burned down that year. So it's very likely that this revolver was actually purchased to replace his guns destroyed in the fire. Later on, Burns was made aide-de-camp to the governor and was actually reporting on the conditions on the Pine Ridge Reservation leading up to the Wounded Knee Massacre, and actually participated in the tragic events of that day. He was recommended for the Congressional Medal of Honor by Captain John B. Kerr of the 6th Cavalry, who wrote, Colonel John H. Burns, aide-de-camp to Governor Millett of South Dakota, accompanied the command and showed himself to be an efficient aide. He rendered valuable service with his rifle. After Wounded Knee, he returned back to Deadwood, where he continued to work in his legal career, and he also published a rather humorous book called Memoirs of a Cow Pony, as told by himself. It's exactly what it sounds like. It is a literal story, like a novel, written from the perspective of a horse in the American West. Definitely a book I want to check out, and is actually included with this revolver in the lot. This beautiful revolver is one of only 9 factory engraved, 5.5-inch barreled, nickel plated 1878s with pearl grips. But it is the only one known with this historic inscription on the backstrap, directly connecting it to Deadwood in the Dakota Territory in the late 19th century. And Burns played a very key role as the prosecuting attorney in Deadwood in this period, helping end the lawlessness that was so prevalent. You think about Deadwood, that's a wild place during the gold rush where you have all these legendary frontier figures coming in and out, several of them dying there. And Burns was there for it all. He would have been known by all of these men. And this beautiful revolver connects you directly back to that time period and to Burns. And it's just one of a whole slew of incredible historic firearms in our upcoming May 2024 Premier Firearms Auction, many of which are from the Greg Lamp collection, just like this one.